Welcome back to the Johannesburg Central Tvet College, of course, at the Ellis Park campus. And we've been milling around. We've been taking a look at the facilities. Our focus, of course, this morning here on Morning Live is on debunking the myths around Tvet colleges. And I've been reading some of your messages, and they really are speaking to exactly what we are trying to understand and discuss here this morning. So we've since moved from the computer lab. We are now in another facility, which the lecturer will tell us about shortly, but we'll come to him because I'm joined by the Deputy Minister of Higher Education and Training, Mr. Buti Manamela. Thanks so much for coming through and coming to speak to us here, because I do believe this is a very important time, especially given what's happening in higher education, the placement situation, and of course, the narrative around Tvet colleges, Deputy Minister.
Thank you very much for having us. I think as you've seen, Sakina, we firstly, I think I'm quite impressed with the level of comprehension and understanding of some of the problems that are there in electronics by the students, the type of facilities that we have, the exposure that they have to practical training. A couple of years ago, we introduced the National Certificate Vocational, which is a combination of both theory and practical exposure, and which also gives students an opportunity to go, work in industry. Last year the President gave us the challenge of placing 10,000 students at industry, particularly at NCV, and those who've completed their NATED, and we've seen an improvement, in terms of this practical exposure. So Tvet colleges are not that which, we used to conceive. These institutions where if you're not doing well theoretically or academically, you get sent to Tvet colleges. In fact, you require a certain level of academic rigor. They're doing maths, they're doing, electronics, they're doing all sorts of things that require you to engage with your mind, but also to do things. So when you leave these institutions, knowing how to do things, which I think for us is what's needed in our economy out there. That's what's needed for us to deal with the so-called skills mismatch and skills shortages. And I think most of our Tvet colleges are the jewel of the post-school education and training system.
Deputy Minister, you talk about the placements from the Tvet colleges, and quite a bit of investment has been made from the department's perspective with regard to that. One of the other issues that the Minister highlighted quite vigorously was the curriculum, looking at the curriculum and making sure that there was more input from industry, so that when these students leave here, they are actually fit to step in and start working.
Yeah. Well, most definitely. we had late last year a conference that involved, people from industry, practitioners, lecturers who are, interfacing with the subject matter at this level, just to really get a sense of, where are we with our curriculum and where is it that, they believe we need to be taking this forth. And we really appreciate the input made by industry, because it helps us to make sure that our Tvet colleges move, with the time. And I think also their insistence that, the facilities, the machinery that we use in our Tvet colleges have to be in line with what is there in industry. But also I think what we, really have gotten to appreciate is how some, particularly in the auto sector, have made it their interest in terms of, what's happening, for instance, in our mechanical engineering workshops. What kind of resources do we need? What kind of skills do we need? So that public-private partnership has been working quite well for people for the Tvet sector. What we really obviously want to see, is a situation where more and more of our students get, that practical exposure. But the other beautiful thing is, most of the students, once they complete their National Certificate Vocational, which is the equivalent of grade 10, 11, and 12, but with much more focus on, the technical stream. They go on to either do their N4, N5, or N6, or they go on to go study at a university in those areas, or universities of technology. Some of them go and become artisans, and some of them go and open up their own, corner stalls there. and grow big from there. So the opportunities are plenty if one considers studying at a Tvet college.
Indeed, they are. And of course, we are taking a walkabout and we've had to get into character. We were given our dust coats because, we can't step into this facility without the personal protective equipment that Sarah was telling me about earlier. So here she is. When you saw her earlier, she was dressed in her jeans and tackies and looking all cute. And here she is now ready to start working. Sarah, good morning. So firstly, which year are you of your study in right now?
This is my final year. I'm doing level 4 in electrical infrastructure and construction.
Electrical infrastructure and construction. So where would you ultimately land up working?
Definitely, I'm considering opening up something of my own, hopefully, but I also want to focus more on PLC, electronics more. So I'm definitely thinking of a lot of big companies, maybe Sasol, your Eskom, maybe I can bring something in there.
Well, the world is your oyster. All these gadgets they look very cute. That thing looks like a traffic light there happening. We'll talk more about all of these things that are happening, but just giving you a sense of the facilities that are here as the Minister and I will engage further in a short while. I'm just moving back to Kennedy. Kennedy, good morning. So what are these?
What we have here basically is a PLC, a logic programmer, and 3 motors. So how this works is when you switch on this, motor 1 comes on, motor 2 comes on, and motor 3 comes on, and they all go off. Then the process continues over and over.
So where would we use this in real life?
Where you use this in real life, I would say a mine, yes. If, for example, you want to turn on your motors in a mine, maybe for oxygen to circulate, if you're underground, you can use this system, and conveyor belts as well, yes.
All right. So, some of us are at a serious disadvantage here this morning, but, we endeavored to learn. And let me bring in the lecturer. I don't know where he's going. He's switching something on for us. So, Kennedy, let's just move aside because I want to understand what Mr. Mashaba is switching on for us. Mr. Mashaba, if you come this way so we can actually see. Firstly, this is, of course, your classroom, your domain. So, for those watching, what is it that you teach and why are you passionate about this?
I'm Mr. Leshaba. I'm responsible for electronics practicals. This is my specialty. This is where my love is. I'm equipping students with the knowledge of electronics. So we do a lot of things here. If you can see, here now we've got what you call a 4017. That is driving the LEDs. So here, this is more of doing manual there. By there, we've moved to what you can call your 4IR. So there you've got a smart relay, but here we're doing manual here. So this is a level 3 project for a level 3 student. And it's quite interesting. But the student, once they see it, all the lights running from, it's like it's counting from 1 to 10. Mm. So when the students start seeing it, then they're like, Minyera, I got it right. It's like, good. So, like the first one there, you can see there, the one with the robot, it was built by the student. That robot, I told the student that, the student actually finishes level 4. I said, Mr. Matsimi, I need a robot. I want the lights, this red here, green and amber here. Can you go and do it for me? He said, Mr. Shaba, I've got it. I will do it for you. So this, we didn't buy this. It was done by a student. The robot power was done by a student. So I've asked the student that please do this for me, because what I normally do, I give them extra practicals so that it improves their confidence. I don't just say, let's stick to what the department has said for us. After they've done one practical, I said, okay, I can see you are good. Let me give another one.
So, Mr. Leshaba, our robots never work here in Joburg. So, is it possible that you guys can come up with a solution? Something that nobody wants to steal, because it's always so surreal when you see pictures from, a storm-ridden area in the United States. Maybe there's a cyclone, and the robots, the traffic lights are on. And here, we never know when they are on. But is that something that you guys could work towards?
Yeah, I think this probably can be done because, I mean, if it's build a smaller one which you can move around, if for example, if there's low shading and then we can have one with solar panel, we can just mount it there temporarily and it will control the traffic.
We're going to steal the solar panel, so where's the solution?
We take something that can work temporarily, maybe with a backup. Let's, for example, the robots here, there by the corner not working. We can take this system there, mount it there until the power comes back from City Power. We take it to somewhere else.
I see Sarah nodding vigorously, like she has a solution to this particular issue with the robots. But of course, this is what it's all about. And as Mr. Lishaba says, when students actually see things from that very basic, very elementary level to this level, it's just that light that goes on and the excitement that goes with it. Minister, you, of course, are very at home here because this is what you studied.
Oh, yes, of course. I mean, I think what I was saying to both Sarah and Kennedy was firstly when I did, electronics in Mamelodi some years back, we just had one oscillator which the lecturer was walking around with, and we also had, very few of these facilities. And I think the fact that they've got practical exposure to some of this machinery, it really excites me. And what I also want to say, Sakina, is, in most of our campuses, we have, robotics, we have, programs that has to do with, the Internet of Things, with artificial intelligence, so it's not only about, the basic stuff, it's also about skills for the future. I think at the Tvet College in Wembe, they're teaching students how to not only build but also fly drones. So I think the myth that Tvet colleges are basically institutions where we where we dump students is gradually being debunked, because I think that with the kind of exciting programs that we have in most of these Tvet colleges, we have begun to attract even those students, who are, performing with straight A's in their grade 12. So it's no longer about I can't get a spot at university only. It's also about I want to be a mechanical engineer and I want to be exposed to the real stuff, what happens in the workshop and all of that. So it's quite exciting to be seeing some of these things happen.
Well, it certainly is. Deputy Minister of Higher Education and Training, Mr. Buti Manamela, and very at home here. So I want to see what he can do since he has his overall on, and we'll get Mr. Lishaba to assess him and see how well he did. This is real life. This is practical experience. With that, let's go back to the studio for now.